It's the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back from the weekend, everybody. It's time to get serious about fantasy hockey. That's why you're tuning in to the Locked On Fantasy Hockey Podcast, Monday edition. Lots to get to, as always, most importantly being top waiver wire ads of the week, big-time bets for a jam-packed holiday Monday in the United States, and lots to talk about in between. Thanks for joining us. Let's get this money.
You're Locked On Fantasy Hockey, your daily podcast on fantasy hockey. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back to your source for fantasy hockey news, breakdown, and analysis. It's the Locked On Fantasy Hockey Podcast. We're here for the Monday edition. Thank you for making us your first listen every single day. Steele and I, we grind in every Monday to Friday. We got episodes out on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever you find your favorite and hottest content. Make sure you drop us a review, subscribe, and all of the above if you're feeling what you're hearing and watching. Everybody, Mondays, waiver wire ads. You know this is a big time day for all fantasy fanatics out there. Making the right ad, I've said it before, can really mean big things over the next couple of weeks. I got some guys, Steele, that I'm pretty fired up about. I told you that I was a little bit apprehensive about some of the guys on my list. I cut it back. We're feeling it. Feeling some big time bets. You've been on fire. Big weekend for you. I'm excited to hear what you have to say for this breakdown. Martin Luther King Jr. Day in the United States. Much love to everyone listening from south of the border. Steele, we're keeping today short and sweet, but that doesn't mean it's short on fantasy analysis and takes. Big time waiver wire Monday. Make sure you set those lineups early, people. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock games on Monday. Tune in and tap in. Steele, who are you looking at for this week and why?
Yeah, I'm looking at a couple of young studs right now. And this is a massive week in the NHL. 20 teams are playing 4 games this week, and one team plays even 5 games this week, and that's the Philadelphia Flyers. So maybe even stream some of those Philadelphia Flyer players because they have so many games this week. But for myself, I'm looking elsewhere, and I'm starting with some Finnish young studs over here.
Okay.
Eberle Tolvanen of the Seattle Kraken has been on fire recently. The entire team has been on fire right now, but
that's true.
Has been great since being picked up off of waivers from the Nashville Predators, joining an elite bottom 6 group for the Seattle Kraken. He's only rostered right now 7% and 14% on Yahoo and ESPN fantasy leagues. He started the year 4 points, -2 in 13 games for the Nashville Predators. He's now got 5 goals, 7 points in his last 8 games playing for the Seattle Kraken. His shooting percentage is at 30% right now. It's super high, but
yeah, that's
it's really high. But it seems like every time he takes a shot, it's going in the back of the net. So really stream guys, like a lot of guys on the Seattle Kraken right now. Tolvanen playing some great minutes. He's up just under 14 minutes a game now right now for the Seattle Kraken. So playing more minutes with the Kraken than he was for the Nashville Predators. And I sent a tweet out the other day. The Nashville Predators front office is probably punching themselves in the leg right now after putting him on waivers and thinking that he would clear them, and Seattle Kraken swoop in and steal him up. And again, the Kraken being one of those teams right now, they've got 4 games this upcoming week. They play the Lightning, the Oilers, the Devils, and the Avalanche. So definitely a tough little schedule this week for the Kraken. But they're on an 8-game win streak right now. 7 of those wins were on the road, beating teams like the Toronto Maple Leafs, Boston Bruins, obviously a good 8-5 win over the Chicago Blackhawks, but they outscored their opponents 41-16 the last 8 games. They're scoring goals at will right now.
The Seattle Kraken, they set the record for longest road trip sweep. This is impressive stuff now. And, I like to come on here and tell you when you're doing good things and proper takes. Your take with the Seattle Kraken from the jump of the season. Hats off to you, my friend. They are now really starting to impress me. And there's 2 interesting things that you kind of brought up there. David Poile in the front office for the Nashville Predators doesn't usually miss. And you mentioned this Eberle Tolvanen situation. Ron Francis is a GM who's starting to really etch his name as one of those guys. He's putting together a very good team in Seattle. So, I love me a little bit of GM angles. Now, I have looked at this list long and hard, and maybe too long, Steele, for the waiver wire options. And I appreciate you also coming with the breakdown of how many teams have how many games. That's key. William Karlsson, if you're looking for a little bump in offense, his peripheral stats might not be there. You might go flip. He doesn't bring a whole lot to the table. He is playing on a very, very good line alongside Riley Smith, Phil Kessel. Maybe say what you will about Phil. They're producing, and this guy is only out there at 18% in ESPN leagues. This might be a little bit more under the radar. 2 goals in his last 2 games, 4 points in his last 4 games. If you need a little boost of offense, William Karlsson's in the mix and also in that top power play mix. Second power play mix. Vegas is a good team. I'm just trying to show you some good offensive fill-ins for this week.
Yeah, and he's been chipping away on the offense too. Like you said, the peripheral stats might not be there overall, but playing in the top 6, they like to shuffle their lineups a lot over in Vegas. So he definitely gets some minutes and he chips away offensively. I'm looking at another very young player, a rookie actually, also born and raised in Finland. Going to those Nashville Predators that I was talking about, Juuso Parssinen right now has been on fire right now.
Yeah.
Rostered at 4% in both Yahoo and ESPN leagues. He's soon to be 22 years old, birthday on February 1st. So happy birthday. Very, very close to this guy. But yeah, he's a rookie right now, making his way up the rookie leaderboard, top 10 in rookie scoring this season as of right now. 17 points, and he's looked really good, Flip. 17 points in 28 games. Like I said, currently top 10, but if he had played since the beginning of the season, or he's played all the games for the Nashville Predators, he could easily be top 3 in rookie scoring this season, right behind Matty Beniers and a couple of those other guys, because he's been that good. And I think because he's been that good, he's now playing on the top line, centering Philip Forsberg and Matt Duchene on that top line for the Nashville Predators. He's got a 6-game point streak right now, 1 goal, 8 points total in those 6 games. And like the Seattle Kraken, the Nashville Predators have 4 games this upcoming week. They take on the Calgary Flames, the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Los Angeles Kings, and the St. Louis Blues.
Hey, sometimes when it comes down the stretch here in the fantasy season, and I know it's like we're only at the halfway mark, you need bodies in that lineup. You can't afford to miss a single opportunity to at least rack up some points. Make sure, like I said, early roster set on Monday. You're listening to this episode early on Monday. Make sure you're going over to whatever platform you use and you're setting your lineups, because this time of year, you really don't want to be missing out on a single opportunity. Like a single opportunity with Athletic Greens AG1, it helps you get healthy. Today's episode is brought to you by AG1. This partner we love, Steele. It's a product you and I use all the time, every day, and we started taking AG1 because it helps you age with grace. It helps you before and after the gym. It's lifestyle friendly. It's keto, paleo, vegan, dairy-free, gluten-free, contains less than 1 gram of sugar. AG1 from Athletic Greens has no GMOs, no nasty chemicals, no artificial anything, and it tastes delicious. It also costs you less than $3 a day. Invest in your health. Athletic Greens has over 7,000 5-star reviews, and it's time to re-up yourself with the healthy, good stuff of AG1 from Athletic Greens. Right now, reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition with just 1 scoop in water every single day. That's it. No need for a million different supplements, pills to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you 1 free year of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is hit athleticgreens.com/NHL network. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/NHL network to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance.
This is Dane Lewis from the Locked On Stars podcast, here to let you know the following message brought to you by Discover. Did you know that you could reduce the number of unwanted calls and emails with online privacy protection, the latest innovation from Discover? Discover will help regularly remove your personal info, like your name and address, from 10 popular people search websites that could sell your data, and they'll do it for free. Activate in the Discover app and see terms and learn more at discover.com/online privacy protection.
Thank you so much for making the Locked On Fantasy Hockey Podcast your first listen every single day. Don't forget, we are free and available on all podcast platforms, including YouTube. So make sure you hit the subscribe, hit the follow button. We're almost at 750 subscribers, hoping to get to 800 in the next month. And that's all thanks to you guys out there, our listeners. Thank you so much for tuning in. Flip, let's continue to show some help this upcoming week with the waiver wire targets. I'll throw it over to you. How many players you got left? You got 2 more?
I got 2 more, and usually I try to split them up. I like going with a D, a goalie, and a forward. But this week, and these next 2 targets are the ones that really excite me because of the opportunity they're getting alongside some really good players. Lucas Raymond was a player last season who really stood out. Yeah. He almost was in the mix for the Calder. He's been really slow to start this season, and he's picking up the pace. 13 goals, 17 assists for 30 points in 41 games. And what excites me the most is now Bertuzzi is back. Alongside Bertuzzi and Larkin, Raymond is playing on that right side. That's a very good line and one that's going to get some points. Say what you will about the Detroit Red Wings. Lucas Raymond jumped off the page for me this week as my top waiver wire ad. I wanted to add him last week, and he went off. 3 goals, 4 assists in his last 3 games. I missed on mentioning it for y'all last week. I hope he's still out there. Actually, ESPN, 47%. Don't know about Yahoo, but he might be out there on the waiver wire. Should be in a lot of formats. Jump on Lucas Raymond while you can.
Yeah, definitely one of those young guys for the Detroit Red Wings that struggled a little bit, even with Moritz Seider as well, a guy that sort of picked it up a little bit recently, but just struggled for the first 2 months this season, and even in beginning of January as well. I'm looking at a defenseman as well. I'm trying to change up a little bit for the waiver wires. I'm going to New York Islanders, Alexander Romanov, rostered right now at 20% on Yahoo and 52% on ESPN. Look, you're not gonna get a ton of offense from a guy like Romanov. He's only got 14 points on the season. Right. It's really those peripheral stats you're looking for, especially in a categorical league. 56 shots, 83 blocks, 108 hits. Especially the blocks and hits, they continue to go up every single time he steps on the ice. And he's a big guy who loves to crunch people. It doesn't matter whether it's open ice, along the boards, in the corners. He will come after you and he will finish his check every single time he is on the ice. That's what I love about this guy. Like, he does chip away every now and again with some, maybe an assist or 1 or 2 goals. But
that's not his game, though.
It's not his game. It's really the physical aspect of hockey that he loves to play. And like the New York Islanders, they have 4 games this upcoming week. Dang. A little bit of a tough schedule as well, taking on the Washington Capitals, the Boston Bruins, the Buffalo Sabres, and the Carolina Hurricanes. So, again, if you need some help on the blue line just to fill in a roster spot, get some of those peripheral stats, I really like Alexander Romanov.
Yeah, banger league beauty steal. You might need that fill in for the week. You might be up against another GM who's heavy in the hits, heavy in the block shots category that you need to kind of go toe-to-toe with. I did meant to mention with Lucas Raymond, 4 games for the Red Wings this week. That makes him even more of a juicy target, in my opinion. And before we get to big-time bets, we're locked and loaded with the bets at the end of the show. Stay tuned for that. I got to talk about a player. I know, Steele, you're going to be like, my goodness, Flip. I'm done with hearing you talk about Cole Perfetti. But Cole Perfetti has been right there on the cusp for me this season. He started to look good, then he faded, and he got hurt. Now he's back. And the reason why I need to mention him, aside from getting second power play time on a team that scores a lot of goals, he's playing with Blake Wheeler and Mark Scheifele. This is like the perfect mix, in my opinion, for this player to be able to do his thing. He's also coming off a 3-assist performance against the Pittsburgh Penguins. The big night for Perfetti, and he is out there still. 12% in ESPN. The Jets have 4 games this week. Perfetti is going to be another must-add. If you're only going to add 2 players for me offensively, it's Perfetti and Raymond. I like yours too. I'm not saying to not consider steals. That's why he's my co-host. But Perfetti, I think he's going to go off here. He's still in the mix for that Calder scoring chance. I know it's Beniers to lose, but he's still up there. I like Cole Perfetti this week. Steal big time. 4 games for the Jets. 12% in ESPN. Go out there and take a shot on Perfetti this week.
Look, I'll never get sick and tired of you talking about Cole Perfetti.
At least it's not Seth Jarvis.
At least it's not Seth Jarvis this time, but 5 assists in the last 4 games, a 3-assist night the other night, like you said, against the Penguins. Huge help on that top line. He's already up. He's up 17%, up to now 31% on Yahoo Fantasy.
There you
so
go.
Definitely go out and pick him up while you still can, because people notice how great he is right now. One last player before we get to big time bets. I'm going back to the Seattle Kraken because they've been red fire as of late, especially the last 8 games. Jordan Eberle is rostered right now at 15% and 25% on ESPN leagues. 35 points in 42 games. A lot of assists for this guy that you're going to get. A veteran presence for this young Seattle Kraken team, obviously. I've talked about them a lot, up and down the lineup, even on the blue line now. I think we can both agree that the goaltending might be the big question mark, even though Martin Jones is securing the wins no matter what.
Yeah.
Eberle has been a great presence for this team, obviously, this entire season and their first season last year. 8 points in his last 6 games. He's now on the top line with Matty Beniers and Andre Burakovsky as well. He's the first power play unit. Like I said, the Seattle Kraken are scoring so many goals. They've scored 8 goals in the last 4. It's crazy what they're doing right now offensively. And Eberle and a bunch of these other guys, Beniers,
McCann, your boy.
McCann. We go down the bottom 6 as well. Like the bottom 6 is probably the best bottom 6 in the NHL right now.
Right up there.
And they're scoring at will offensively. Again, like I mentioned, the Kraken have 4 games this week: Lightning, Oilers, Devils, and Avalanche. Tough matchup, but they are a tough team to play against no matter what. So those are my 4 waiver wire targets for this upcoming week. Flip, what do you say we get over to big time bets?
I'm ready, pal. I'm excited to hear what you have to say because you've been on a pretty impressive clip. I probably just jinxed you, so that's my bad. This is a big board to kick off the week, so why don't we start it strong?
Yeah, I ended the week off really great, going back to back with the Edmonton Oilers in a great matchup against the Anaheim Ducks and the San Jose Sharks. Some big scoring nights for Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers offensively. We are going to get to big time bets, but where you should place those bets are betonline.net. They are your number one source for sports betting information, stats, news, and analysis. Get the latest odds trends for every professional league, amateur league out there, from pro football to the college bowl season, NBA, NHL, and many, many more leagues out there, all on betonline.net. And if you love sports podcasts just like this one right here, you can find even those on BetOnline as well. Always the fastest and easiest way to get your betting info. So head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends. Bet Online, where the game starts.
Hi, this is Walker Mayo, one of the local hosts of the Locked On Podcast Network. Instead of hearing me right now, we could be talking about your business and helping you reach local, passionate sports fans just like yourself. Unlike any other podcast, Locked On gives your local company the unique ability to reach local podcast listeners. If your business wants to connect with local sports fans that are well-educated with disposable income, then let's put your company right here on this Locked On podcast. Local fans love to support local businesses. Text the word advertising to 33777 or visit lockedonpodcast.com/advertising and let us know who you are. Our team will assist you to achieve advertising success with Locked On. Once again, text the word advertising to 33777 or visit lockedonpodcast.com/advertising. We look forward to hearing from you.
And thank you so much for making the Locked On Fantasy Hockey Podcast your first listen every single day. Please remember, we are free and available on all podcast platforms, including YouTube. Hit the subscribe, hit the follow button. Flip and I appreciate all the love and all the support. And don't forget, we will post all of our odds and bets an hour before game time. So make sure you're checking our Twitter account, LO_fantasy NHL. Make sure you go follow us on Twitter as well.
Yes, sir.
Now, Flip, I'll throw it over to you first. I want to hear a couple of your first picks for Monday's night.
Yeah, I almost went for the triple dip, and I feel like that's bold when there's just so many games to choose from on the board tonight. A lot of really intriguing games, Steele, and I think sometimes you need to put the blinders on and really just focus in on some of the ones that you like. The first one that I liked, and I have 2 picks from it, is this Detroit at Colorado game. And the Avalanche have just started to look pretty good. I know they've been back and forth. Say what you will overall about the team. That 7-0 performance against the Ottawa Senators, that might be a turning point type win. And the Ottawa Senators have been a bit of a mess this season, sure. but this team is better than how they've performed over the last 10 games, and this 7-0 victory is going to snap them out of it. Also, when you look at the last recent head-to-head between Detroit and Colorado, Detroit is 0-8 in their last 8 games against Colorado. They also have only 1 win on the road overall, and they've lost 5 straight trips to Colorado. Avs on the puck line. I don't do a lot of puck lines. I think the Avs just absolutely smash the Red Wings tonight. And my second pick, very quickly before I throw it back to you, and I'll save my lock. Mikko Rantanen is one of the best players in the NHL, and he might be the most underrated player this season. And I know that's something, a bit of a subjective thing to throw out there, Steele. 29 goals, 24 assists for 53 points, 5 game-winning goals, 160 shots, and he has 6 points over his last 5 games, a big-time game against Ottawa. Mikko Rantanen, it's not going to be 1 point. I'm taking the 1.5 points over. He's going to have a multi-point night, 2 or more. That's my second pick. I love Rantanen right now.
I can agree with you. I think he's probably the most underrated and most underappreciated as well in the NHL right now. Just because there's so much talent now in the NHL, a couple of those superstar guys get a little bit overlooked, and Mikko Rantanen is one of them, especially playing with alongside Nathan McKinnon and Cale Makar, 2 other superstars. It might be a reason why he gets underappreciated a little bit. So I agree with you on that take.
And very quickly, I forgot, Nichushkin might be back Monday night as well. He's a game-time decision. That just could mean huge things for the Avs on the puck line as well. That's the other reason why I was just feeling the juice for the Avalanche tonight.
That could mean a lot for this team as well. I'll get to the Avalanche for my lock of the night, so I'm going to save it a bit. But even though the Avalanche right now are out of the playoffs, they have a lot of games in hand right now. So don't worry about it whatsoever. They're definitely going to – this could be, like you said, the turning point for the Avalanche in their season. I'll start off, though, with the Nashville Predators. I'm going to take them on the money line, plus 130 against these Calgary Flames. I know the Flames won the other night against the Stars, but they were up 6-2. With 2 minutes left in the second period and let them crawl back 6-5 by the end of the game. They still won, but nonetheless, the Calgary Flames goalie situation, even just overall, this entire season has been up and down, very shaky to me. And like you and I have talked about a lot, this Predators team, they might be on a 3-game losing streak right now, but they are a second half season team. And I expect that I like the odds at plus 130, and I expect them to take it to the Calgary Flames. My second pick of the night. I'll just rattle all 3 if you don't mind.
Please do.
Kraken on the money line, plus 118 against the
you're going back to it.
This might be a little spicy. It might be a little bit of a bold take, but on an 8-game win streak, rolling through teams, not looking back whatsoever, just obliterating them. The Seattle Kraken are on fire right now. This might be another high-scoring game, so maybe go the over 6.5 goals as well. But the Kraken are on fire right now. The odds are great. I'll take the Kraken and the Predators on the money line at great odds, plus 130 and plus 118. And my lock of the night, I might switch this to the puck line, but as of right now, I'm taking the Avalanche on the money line, minus 177. Okay. That's just a little bit of a safer pick. A little bit of a safer pick alongside those 2, underdog bets I'm going with. That will be my lock of the night, but you're right. A huge win, 7-0 the other night against the Ottawa Senators. Could be the turning point. Mikko Rantanen just on fire as well. So I might end up switching this to the puck line before game time.
And that Nichushkin wrinkle, I know, he's been injured this season, but he started really hot, and obviously he was so huge for them in the playoffs last season. Yeah. This is a player that's really starting to pick up steam in his own game. Say what you will about the injury derailing that. This just feels like a really good spot for the Colorado Avalanche, especially if he returns to the lineup. My lock of the night, Steele, look, the Buffalo Sabres deserve a lot of credit for what they've done this season, and I'm not going to try and take away from a single thing that they've done. The Florida Panthers, to me, are starting to, I know they're, 1 win here, 2 wins here, then a loss, and then 1 win here, and then a loss. 4-3 against the Canucks, okay, but they just came off that 5-4 win against Colorado, a close game against Vegas. What I'm trying to get at is I'm liking where the needle is starting to point for this Florida Panthers team. 4-2 in their last 6 games. Florida has also won 5 straight games against the Buffalo Sabres. 13-6 in the last 19 trips to Buffalo. I know those are different teams, but good recency trends for the Panthers here. Panthers on the money line, getting pretty good money as well. Let me just double check what it's at right now, Steele. Minus 130 is a really good odd for what, in my opinion, is the better team right now. Florida Panthers money line against the Sabres. That's my lock of the night.
I think I might have to disagree with you on that one.
Okay.
To say this is a tough
Side bet?
matchup to bet on. I will do a side bet with you. I'll take the Sabres on this. We'll throw a little
Okay.
tenor in on this side bet
like
right
it.
now. But this is a tough matchup for me. Bobrovsky, the goaltending. I know Spencer Knight's injured right now, but the goaltending's been shaky. Even
true.
when they've won those games, they've let the teams crawl back in it and, obviously just squeaking out the win. But I kind of like the Buffalo Sabres right now. They're rolling, and I think they have a really good chance at even making the second, potentially the first wild card spot at the end of the season. So we'll throw a little tenor on this one for the side bet.
Sabres one win out of their last 4. I don't know if they're rolling, but okay.
No, yeah, but they won the last game.
Here we go.
They're rolling into a playoff spot. Nonetheless,
There
side
it is.
bet. Definitely a side bet that I need to start
I
winning
like the
something.
hedge.
Because you've taken the side bets this year, so I'm definitely looking to win this one on you. Thank you so much for making the Locked On Fantasy Hockey Podcast your first listen every single day. Don't forget, available Monday through Friday, 7:00 in the morning Eastern time on your favorite podcast platform and YouTube. So go hit the subscribe, hit the follow button. And thank you so much again for tuning in for today's episode with Flip and I. Have a great day. Good luck with all your bets out there, and we shall see you back here again tomorrow.
Peace.
Hi, this is Walker Mayo, one of the local hosts of the Locked On Podcast Network. Instead of hearing me right now, we could be talking about your business and helping you reach local, passionate sports fans just like yourself. Unlike any other podcast, Locked On gives your local company the unique ability to reach local podcast listeners. If your business wants to connect with local sports fans that are well-educated with disposable income, then let's put your company right here on this Locked On podcast. Local fans love to support local businesses. Text the word advertising to 33777 or visit lockedonpodcast.com/advertising and let us know who you are. Our team will assist you to achieve advertising success with Locked On. Once again, text the word advertising to 33777 or visit lockedonpodcast.com/advertising. We look forward to hearing from you.
Hey, Prime members, you can listen to this Locked On podcast ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the Amazon Music app today.